Hey guys, welcome back to Jay's Car Channel. In this video I'm going to talk about car washing. Something I've done other videos on, but I think because of the camera setup and the way things are for me right now until I get something better, it's just showing me walk around the car, and I don't know that people are getting that much out of it. So this video I really want to give some good information to people who want to learn about how to properly wash a vehicle. I'm going to give you the products I use, and I'm going to go through my process. First product I'm going to tell you that you really need is a really good wash media. This is called Microfiber Madness Incredipad. It's a 6x8 microfiber washing pad. It has no seams anywhere, so it doesn't have a cuff. You know, you can get the actual Incredimit, which allows you to put your hand in there, but that has a cuff, and so that has something that's, you know, not this soft that can, you know, go against the surface. So that's why I like this. Is it has nothing else other than just the soft material. Other reason I like this, it picks up dirt and grime really well. Now on the flip side of it, it also releases dirt and grime really well. So those things, in conjunction with longevity, this thing, I've had a number of them, and wash after wash. So every time I do a car wash, I end up putting this into the laundry and using microfiber cleaner to clean this along with my towels, and they stay soft. They never get, you know, nappy or nasty, and they never get rough. They just tend to keep on going. And so, you know, you don't have to get this particular one. You can go, there's plenty of companies that make good microfiber wash media, but this is going to be the thing that touches the paint the most in the wash process. So I would say get something that's really high quality. You know, you get what you pay for. This thing, I'm probably thinking it's maybe $18 to $20, maybe a little bit more, but whatever the case, I'm going to leave links to everything, and if you guys want to use this stuff, I'd say go for it. I've never had a problem with these. Now there's some other stuff I use, but this is the #1 wash media I use on probably 80 to 90% of the washes I do. So that's the biggest thing I'm going to say. #1, good wash media. Alright, the second thing I'm going to tell you to get is a pressure washer. This is just a better solution for knocking off the dirt and grime, you know, bugs, things like that on your car before you ever go to washing it. You also can foam using a foam cannon connected to this. So that's another benefit of a pressure washer. You can apply a layer of foam to the vehicle. After you rinse, you apply the foam. That's another thing that's going to pull dirt from the surface. So the main thing behind this product is to remove as much dirt as you can before you actually go to washing the car. So that's going to be my second recommendation. Now if you can't afford a pressure washer, you know, a hose, a garden hose, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to rinse it, and you can attach a foam gun to your garden hose, your regular sprayer. Don't have to have a pressure washer. So that's another thing to do. I would say if you can't afford a pressure washer, or you don't have the time for it or any of that, this just goes to a standard garden hose. So this would be my alternative to a pressure washer. So the third thing that you guys probably know about already is going to be a grit guard or a dirt lock. One of the two. Those are the two brands I use. This is the grit guard I'm holding, and then I have dirt lock inside of this bucket. And this is the scrub wall along with the dirt lock in the bottom. So this has a lot more contact surface that you can take your wash media in and remove dirt from. But yeah, that third thing is a dirt lock or a grit guard. Something to agitate the wash mitt and remove the dirt and grime from it before you go back to the car. The fourth thing I'm going to tell you is a high quality pH neutral soap. This is Adam's Car Shampoo. It's pH neutral. You can wash in direct sun. You don't have to worry about streaking, water spots, anything like that from this soap. It doesn't remove any protection that you have on the vehicle. It'll, you know, it has some good lubricity to it. It works well in the foam gun. It works well in the bucket. Suds up real nice. It's pretty highly concentrated. So there's other soaps out there. I'm not telling you you have to use this one, but use one that's pH neutral. I would recommend, you know, for your standard, you know, maintenance washes. That's going to be the #4 thing I'm going to tell you to get for your wash is a good soap. pH neutral. Can't go wrong. The fifth thing is a high quality drying towel. So this is a Klin Drying Duo. This thing soaks up water like crazy. This thing is awesome. Now here's another one I'll show you. It's an Adams Jumbo Plush drying towel. It's a lot like this Drying Duo. It just soaks water up. You can do a whole SUV with one of these or one of these. So I would recommend one of these larger drying towels if you have an SUV. Now you can get different sizes, and there's a ton of different towels out there, but go with the high quality microfiber drying towel. This is going to be the thing that touches the paint just as much as the wash mitt. Those two things are the biggest two factors in what's actually touching the paint. So you want to make sure they're high quality, and that way you reduce the amount of damage or potential for damage that you're going to do in the wash process. Speaking of the process, the first thing I do prior to a wash is I do a pre-wash inspection. I walk around the vehicle. I look at everything. I look at the wheels and tires. I look at the bumper. I look at the hood. I look at the windows. I look at everything to see what areas have the most concentration of filth, debris, bugs, tar, sap, anything, brake dust. I'm checking everything across the car to see where the areas of concern are, so I know, I can formulate in my head what my process is going to be and what areas I need to focus on the most to get the best result. So that's the first thing I do, is I just walk around the whole car and just make mental notes. Okay, a lot of bugs on the front bumper, I'm going to have to work on that during the wash process. Okay, wheels and tires are filthy, I'm probably going to have to go through them, spend more time on the wheels and tires than I do on anything. I don't know, things like that. Those are the mental notes that I'm going to make prior to beginning the wash process. After I've done my inspection, the first thing I actually wash is the wheels and tires. Wheels and tires are the dirtiest thing on the car for the most part, and you want to make sure you do those first, because once you rinse them, you're going to get water onto the paint of the vehicle, and you don't want to do that after you've washed it. You do that before you wash it, so that way you remove anything that you've sprayed off the wheels and tires from the paint. You're not doing that behind your wash where you've cleaned the entire car and now you're spraying water from the wheels and tires onto clean paint. Make sense? So that's going to be the second tip that I've got. The third tip, wash in the shade. You want cool surface to work on. You don't want the sun beating down on you and drying up your soap and drying up all your chemicals and drying up all the water. You'll be working against yourself if you're doing in direct sunlight. The fourth thing I'm going to tell you, you do a pre-treat, a pre-rinse, and a pre-foam. So pre-treat is another product I'm going to tell you about. Now you can get this one. This is Hydro Plus. This is by Carbon Collective. This is an electronic pump sprayer. So you press the button, it pressurizes, you hit the trigger, and it sprays. I use diluted rinseless wash, 30 to 1, 40 to 1. Somewhere in that range. If you don't want to get that sprayer, there's an alternative. This is an IK sprayer. It essentially does the same thing. You just have to pressurize it by hand, and you'll have to go around the vehicle, and it's going to take you more time to do it with this. It won't cover as much because it doesn't hold as much, and you have to stop to pump it. This one's probably $30, $35, but it gets the job done. It does the same thing. You want to take one of those tools and pre-treat the entire surface with some form of emulsifier or rinseless wash, waterless wash. That pre-treat is going to soften up things. It's going to loosen up things. It's going to aid in the removal. It's going to make things slick. So once you've done that and let it dwell for a little while, you're going to come behind with a pressure rinse using your pressure washer. And this is a 40-degree tip. A lot of times I use a 25-degree tip, which is a green color. And I just go from top to bottom and spray it down, and I probably go 10 to 12 inches away from the surface. I don't get right up on it, but I'm a foot and a half maybe off of it, and going top to bottom, and that's also knocking dirt and debris off of the vehicle. And you can focus your effort on your bumper. If you have a lot of bugs, you'll notice after you've pre-treated it and you go with this rinse, pressure rinse, bugs will start to fly off of there, and you can knock those off. So that's a better process versus having to scrub across them. That's where the pressure rinse comes in. And then behind that, you're gonna pre-foam. So this is your third pre-wash step, is foaming. Take this, pull this little sprayer nozzle out, and then connect this in. This is all quick connect. connect this in, and you can shoot a layer of foam onto the vehicle. It's like shaving cream, and that will also loosen up dirt, remove dirt as it dwells. So all these things you're doing before you ever touch the paint. I forgot to mention, also I like to wear gloves anytime I'm washing the car. These are Showa, and I've got these from, I think from Amazon. They're biodegradable. A lot of times I'll use them multiple times. These are dirty, you can see. I demote mine to wheels and tires after I've used them for the wash. Now to the fifth step, or the fifth tip that I've got in the process, is to wash from top to bottom and use straight line motions. Use very light pressure. You know, you don't ever want to do circular motions. You don't ever want to push and grind into the actual paint. This pad will do all the work. You've done your pre-treat, your pre-rinse, and pre-foam. Now foam is sitting on the vehicle. You're going to have this in a soap bucket. You're going to take this out. It's going to be loaded with suds, and you're going to go to the top section of the vehicle, and you're going to go in straight lines. And so I basically cut each section in half. So I'll do the roof, and I'll take half the roof in straight line motions overlapping across, and then do that first half, and then walk around the other side, do the second half after I flip this pad. Do that second half straight line motions, very light pressure. I'm going to say light pressure, really no pressure at all, just the weight of your hand. So you don't want to be torquing down, pushing down, using pressure. You will scratch your paint if you do that. Do not put pressure using this pad. Let the pad do the work. This will do all the work. The pad and the soap in conjunction with each other are going to do the work. You don't need to put any muscle into it. I know people want to be He-Man. They want to, you know, go out there and push down on things and scrub them and go back and forth. You're not going back and forth multiple passes. You're going across one section the one time, and then you might overlap slightly coming back, but you're not going across the same section multiple times. So that's another thing. One pass. You know, if you're going back and forth across the same section multiple times, chances are, even if you're not putting a lot of pressure, you're just taking dirt and just wiping it back and forth. You don't want to do that. So you want to be one and done on each little section, on each pass. So then you're going to go back to your bucket. You're going to go take this after you've done whatever section you're working on. You're going to go back to your rinse bucket. So let's just say this is the rinse bucket. It's got clean water in it. I'm going to take this, dunk it down in there, scrub it against the scrub wall. Got the scrub wall in. I'm going to scrub it against that, flip it over, scrub the other side. Probably go down to the bottom, agitate it in the bottom as well. Wring it out after I've brought it out of the bucket, and then go into my wash bucket. So before I even go back to the wash bucket, I've taken it down into this rinse bucket a couple of times, one on each side and then down at the bottom. And then I've taken it out and squeezed it out. And then I go to the soap bucket. I'm also going to go against the grit guard in the soap bucket. So, and then come back out with suds and move to the next section and do that same process all the way across the car. A lot of times I'm going to have a second wash pad just dedicated to the lower sections of the car. And then after that's all said and done, onto the rinse process. So I'm going to rinse every section of the vehicle. I'm going to rinse from top to bottom as well. The last section of the vehicle I'm going to rinse is the section that's in the most sunlight. That way water is not sitting on that portion of the car for the longest. It's sitting on that portion for the least amount of time before I go with my drying towel to the surface. Another thing that I like to use is a drying aid. So here's one of the better drying aids out there. It's Adam's Detail Spray. You can go through after you've rinsed the vehicle and mist this onto each panel. Go, you know, a section at a time if you want to, or you can go around the whole car and mist it. Doesn't matter, but a lot of times I go section by section. So I may start on the hood, mist it down with some detail spray, you know, 5 or 10 sprays on the hood. Take your towel, and you'll be amazed at how much nicer this makes the drying process. It helps to prevent water spots. It gives a little boost to the actual slickness. So it's adding lubricity to the drying phase, and it makes the water evacuate quicker. It's a really nice thing to use. It doesn't really add a lot of protection, so that's what I was going to say is I've got another drying aid that I like to use, Adam's CS3. This will actually add some protection, and you just use it the same as you use the detail spray. You just mist the section that you're on that you're drying and go behind it with your towel. And you'll notice that this will also make it slick. It will also prevent water spots, and it will, like I said, leave some form of protection. Now it's not a ceramic coating, but it does have SiO2 properties, So you do this after every wash and you'll start to build that up. And it's a really nice thing to use. And you can even do this as a wipe down after you've dried the vehicle. You can take a Plush microfiber towel like this. I've got a double soft towel. After you've dried the entire vehicle, you can go behind it with this and a Plush towel and, you know, really bring up the gloss. Do the same with detail spray. So either one of these, they're pretty much interchangeable. I kind of consider this similar to a detail spray. It's a waterless wash, but it works a lot like a detail spray. So these are kind of my last couple tips I want to give you guys. We've gone through the products I like to use, the tools, chemicals, towels, things of that nature, and the process. I've touched on this already, but I like to use 2 wash pads. So I dedicate this one to the upper two-thirds of the vehicle, and then I would have a separate wash pad for the lower 1/3 of the vehicle, which is going to be the dirtiest portion of the vehicle. So that's kind of how I like to use these. That's just how my thought process works. After doing the top 2/3 of the vehicle, this pad is going to have some layer of something in it probably. You can't get 100% of everything out of it. So then I start with a fresh pad for the lower third of the vehicle. So that's what I like to do. Also, I like to wash the windshield wipers on the vehicle. So I like to take my all-purpose cleaner. This is Adam's all-purpose cleaner. It's diluted 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. And I'll take this, spray this into a utility microfiber towel and go get the wipers and take that towel across the wipers a few times, and you'll notice it'll pick up a lot of oxidation and grime. That's going to accomplish 2 things. It's going to make the wipers work better, and it's going to make them last longer. The more frequently you remove that oxidation from the wipers, the more longevity you're going to get out of them. Don't forget to wash your tailpipes. That's something that some cars have, pipes that are turned down that don't have a finisher on them. I don't worry about those type of tailpipes, or they have some that aren't really even visible. They're kind of more hidden behind the bumper or more flush. But a lot of pipes actually have finishers, you know, chrome or stainless steel tips, things of that nature. And when they do, I like to clean those at the same time I'm cleaning the wheels and tires. So that's something that I didn't mention in the, you know, wash process, but it's something to do always. And get your fender wells when you're doing your wheels and tires. And I'm actually going to do a video after this one that's dedicated to wheels and tires, and I'll talk about fender wells and all that stuff. But that's another thing to do. There's nothing worse than washing a vehicle, making it look all nice, and then your fender wells are gray or brown or some color of that nature. You want your fender wells to be black and nice and dark so that they don't draw attention. That's another additional tip I want to mention. And then maybe the last tip I'm going to bring up is going to be to take one of these Detail Factory really soft brushes that's super soft. Take this and use this for, you know, your intricate areas of while you're washing the car. You can foam the vehicle and go behind the foam with this brush and go to your trim around your windows, your grill, around your headlights, around the tail lights, badges, all of that, door handles, around your mirrors. Any little tight intricate area that this pad is not going to reach, you supplement your wash by using something of this nature, and going and getting in there, you know, after you've foamed it. That's really the step. I like to use this in the very beginning after the vehicle's been pre-treated, pre-rinsed, and pre-foamed. While the foam's still thick on the surface, go through with this brush and just lightly agitate. You don't have to. You're not going to put any pressure on it. You're not going to push down. You're just lightly taking it across the surface into the intricate areas, you know, and this will work to get into the areas that the pad won't, once again. And so that's really the last tip I'm going to leave you guys. And again, I'm going to do a wheel and tire video similar to this one to just talk through the different products and the process and kind of how it works, and get kind of in depth and in detail on that process, because that's a big part of the wash process that I've not really done much in this video to cover. I've done some videos on wheels and tires specifically, so you can watch those, and I think those are decent. They're better than my wash videos, but hopefully this wash video is going to give you guys, you know, a lot to digest and think about, and help you wash your vehicle and remain swirl free. That's the main thing, is to prevent swirls. That's my number one goal when I wash the car. Keep from installing swirls. Also make it look nice, and you know, obviously washing and regular routine maintenance of the vehicle surfaces are something that you want to undertake to keep your vehicle looking nicer longer. It's just maintenance, right? So again, hope this video is helpful, and stay tuned for the next one, and we'll see you then. Thanks so much.